Hi, Divine Being. I'm going to drop a truth here that may be a little hard to hear at first, but stick with me and see if you can follow it through, because the gold of understanding this is incredible. And it is that relationships have absolutely nothing to do with the other person. Absolutely nothing. Relationships are purely opportunities to access self. So when we are in relationship with someone else, how they are with us is a reflection of our beliefs, our level of understanding and consciousness, our level of self-acceptance, and our level of self-love. Because we can't understand the world to be anything less than a reflection of our being. We are the ultimate creators, and we call in relationships that allow us to evolve and allow us to heal and allow us to transcend old programs and patterning. But we have to see the relationship like that to be able to have access to the growth. Otherwise, we spend a lot of time blaming, criticizing, misunderstanding, forcing, dismissing, being angry at the other person. But if we take all that away and we see that the behavior that that other person is exhibiting is showing you the space of intolerance or lack of acceptance or wounding within yourself. So, for example, if you're in a relationship where the person that you're with is consistently critical of you, there is a space there where you are being invited to step into a greater level of self-love, self-care, and self-support. Because when you see that that person is only able to energetically affect you because you have that wound existing within you, then you can transform it. So once you transform that wound to not accepting that behavior from a sense of self that is reassured, a sense of self that is knowing that you are good enough, a sense of self that is aware of the ability and gifts that you have innately, then the criticism can't really truly be felt. We're only seeing it as that other person's expression and not as a reflection of self. So when you are able to get to that point, then that relationship, the energetics of that relationship shift completely. Because the criticism no longer feels relevant or useful or even acceptable. So you begin to shift your perception of yourself, and then you shift what you can receive from other people. So say you're in a relationship where there's a lot of emotional distance. You don't feel connected. Maybe it's a parent or a friend or a partner, and you feel a sense of aloneness in the relationship. That's the time to really see where you've abandoned yourself. Loneliness is directly linked to the level of connection you have with your own being. So when you are full of your own existence, when you are fulfilling your innermost needs for understanding and connection of self, then the relationship is less of the focus, because the internal fullness is allowing you not to feel that lonely feeling. And then there's a choice in the relationship around, do you want to continue to be with someone that, or continue to engage with someone that simply can't see you in the way that you're now seeing yourself. And over time, that relationship will shift as you come into more acceptance of who you are, and the loneliness will change, and you'll see more points of connection and more opportunities to open into a different expression. But if you don't acknowledge the inner loneliness, it's really hard to find a level of connection externally. So sitting in the pain of that loneliness is a huge gift. Say there's a pattern of abandonment in your life where you get close to people and then all of a sudden they disappear on you. Friends or potential partners, and you begin to sense that those people are, mistreating you. But really that abandonment could be really connecting into the wound that you have in your body and in your construct that most likely maybe came from a childhood experience of abandonment or a lack of value in self. That means that you miss any warning signs that that person is not able to meet you emotionally and physically the way that you're requesting of them. And so they leave, but the signs have been there since the beginning. You just haven't been able to see them because the wound has blinded you. And you probably cling. You clung on really hard to avoid another abandonment. And that clinging has resulted in exactly what you didn't want to have happen. But when you go within and you look and you deal and you sit with that abandonment and you acknowledge that truly holding self, holding being, holding love through the pain and the anguish of a sense of not truly being connected means that you can find connection in self. And relationships will change around you then. So my invitation to you is, whatever you're feeling or sensing in a relationship, that's your space. That is your space to grow, to review, to find support, to deal with the emotional distress that you're feeling, and to bring it home. Bring the focus out of the external and into the internal, into the space of deep inner connection with self. And then an interesting thing happens. Relationships that fully see you in your authenticity remain. And relationships that don't fully understand, see, support, or hear you just fade away. It's not even like they really move, they just dissipate. And as your sense of self grows and those other relationships fall away, you'll begin to see this as truth. There's the proof in the pudding that as you change, people around you are going to move and change. So you can rest assured that as you come into new levels of knowing and centeredness and self-love, new people will show up for you. New people that will truly see you in this space of incredible acceptance and love. And they will love you and accept you until something comes up in the relationship that challenges you again to go deeper, to question yourself, to question your values, to question who you are, to find more love and more knowing of who you are and what it means to be the expression of self. So enjoy the process of shifting the attention from that other person's behavior and the judgment of them being there or not there. And look deeply in yourself. Find the wound that's alive in you, that's blocking the connection. And sink into the wound and feel the pain of the wound and feel the difficulty of being in that space, and allow that to be the nucleus for your wholeness as you rediscover self. And if you're looking for support in that space, I invite you to reach out and book in for a session. I would love to help you find your true essence and true knowing in all relationships you have. So be well and be love and know that you're not alone.